been given birth to, Jim.
Yeah. That's what I was going for. Greetings, Starfighters. Welcome to Mad Science Films. I'm James Plumb, filmmaker, sexual astronaut, and as ever, I'm joined by my chaotic co-host.
More like it. James Morrissey, filmmaker, South Wales. What's up? AKA the man with no nickname. So, guys, before we get going, please hit that like button if you like this video. I'm sure you will. If you've been enjoying the Mad Science Films content, then subscribe to us on YouTube. Come say hello on Facebook. Like us. Any comments, and leave those in the comment section down below. Thank you.
Thanking you. Okay, guys. Also, if you're in the UK and a Prime Video member, please check out our fourth feature film, A Zombie Movie. Check it out for free. Just search for Little Monster or click on the link in the show notes below. Awesome. So, on this show today, we're campaigning for a forgotten masterpiece of genre cinema to be given the exquisite Blu Ray treatment. This week, my choice, and I've chosen Demon Cop from 1990, directed by Rocco Carrega. I'm assuming that's an accurate pronunciation. So let's jump straight into a synopsis for those at home who may be confused. A former probationary officer who is a patient at a mental asylum escapes and prowls the city looking for victims whose blood may cure the blood disease he has that has turned him into a werewolf-type monster. So from that synopsis alone, you may have more questions. So yes, the title of the film is Demon Cop, but werewolf-type monster and former probationary officer. So I think Demon Cop is probably a catchier title than Werewolf Parole Officer, which is more accurate.
Yeah, I was going to go for Demon Probation Officer.
Again, I think Demon's being generous. So yeah. So Jim, first time watch?
Yes, it was. I've never seen this before in my life. Yeah, Cameron Mitchell was good in it, wasn't he? Yeah, he done this really good intro into the film, really set it up, kind of set this tone, you know. And then the film happened, and it wasn't as I thought it would be. It was almost kind of melodramatic at times. A lot of different tones, like it was just a mess, like in so many ways. Like he was all over the place. Like the action seemed to take place in like somebody's like estate rather than a city. They seemed to be like corners of houses rather than corners of building blocks. The acting was very poor. A lot of stumbled lines still left in and not taken out. The whole Demon Cop thing, I don't know whether he was, I don't know what the fuck he was. I have no idea what his whole agenda was. It was almost like a melodrama. It was almost like he was just, Kelly left me and now I must go fight the bad guys. It's like, oh God,
I think that's accurate. Yeah.
It was just chaos. It was absolutely chaotic. Trying to think of good things. So it kind of made me laugh a few times. The bit when he's reading the letter, Kelly, why did you leave me? And then I went to. So he does this. Clearly, he's still got the teeth in, like the demon wolf teeth.
He writes a letter. He hands it to her. She reads it, and then we get the voiceover.
Yeah, it's like he's still there next to her, actually reading out loud with his fucking teeth in.
It was
yeah, but then the way he was kind of put together, like Rocco seemed to like to do the voiceovers a lot. Whether that was because he thought the scene was lacking any information or the script was lacking, he needed to supplement things with an actual explanation by adding a voiceover for certain parts of the film, which is probably more likely than any kind of artistic choice.
Okay,
it was weird. Yeah.
No, I messaged him. I suggested it. And it's one of those ones where it took me about about 80 minutes, if that. And it took me about 5 goes. I needed breaks through it, and I'm gonna put that down to some, being generous, bold storytelling choices.
Is one way to put it. Yeah.
So I think there's moments of just bizarre genius in there. Okay. But I think he completely fails as a storyteller in a traditional sense. Okay, so it doesn't help that apparently there's a few uncredited directors on here, and the project was taken off him and then kind of re-edited, into something. Now, whether it follows his original vision or not, I don't know. Whatever. Yeah. But there are bits of it where I kind of think, wow, there's some really interesting stuff going on. So firstly, like right off the bat, I really enjoyed the opening credits done in graffiti. And again, I thought that was a fun choice. That's, interesting, something to do there. I give it hats off for that. I think there's like some really weird choices in terms of introducing characters. There's the radio host, and they do that extreme close up on her mouth, which almost feels like a throwback to the Warriors. I don't know if you remember, that's how the only way you see the character for the disc jockey. So they do some stuff like that. There's also bits where like they're running in the tunnel and there's the lights going and it's all kind of like a strange strobing effect. Again, like a beautiful shot. And later on, there's like this news crew and there's a VHS chase, like shot on VHS camera chase scene or whatever. And again, he keeps on trying to. He's very ambitious and you might not be succeeding. And again, that's why I always like those failed experiments. So I think you could shoot the Demon Cop story in a very boring way and it function better as a story, but be very dull to watch. Whereas there's this one where he's continually aiming for the stars and continually failing, but it makes it interesting to me. And as I say, I think I was joking when I say it's, an interesting storytelling choices. Realistically, I think it's bad storytelling. And that's the bit why you're getting all of these voiceovers trying to explain stuff and like flashbacks within flashbacks. I mean, that was never clear where, when flashbacks happen, you're like, oh, okay, why is that happening? But I think he tried some interesting stuff. Like there's that weird bit where the host is talking to somebody and there's like a slow pan. They're like in a restaurant and there's a slow pan to them sitting down and it actually then tallies with their dialogue. And you're like, I can see what they're trying to do. Hats off for them doing it. But it just took so painfully long that it kind of failed in the end.
So was co-directed? I think
it's co-directed, and then although it's not credited on IMDb, doing a bit of digging, it looks like low budget genre movie maker Fred Olen Ray, who has
Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers guy.
He's hundreds of credits to his name. He was also involved, I think, in various reshoots and responsible for the re-edit. The Cameron Mitchell stuff, I think, was definitely added in by Fred Olen Ray. What's weird is it doesn't make sense at all because it's a mental asylum, but the demon cop's not mental. He is actually a demon. So, that's
again, I think you had too many minds, not one clear vision. It becomes very diluted.
Apparently, some of that footage was also, the Cameron Mitchell footage was also then reused in another film as well. So I suspect they had Cameron for a day and, they're like, okay, let's try to explain away 3 films using that.
I'm not sure if some of the, not to take away from Rocco, I'm not sure if some of the visual interesting stuff in the film was because of Hal Miles, who was the DP. If you look up Hal Miles, I think his background is mainly special effects and animations. He's worked on, like, his film work is just so extensive, loads of films he's been on. So he seems to have,
and in some things he's got a co-credit for directing as well. So I think
he's got, I think perhaps that might have been from his his workings, I guess, but then, which is great, but then if you're not on the same wavelength as the director, you're both pulling apart. So even though it may look good, it, like you said, it doesn't make sense. So it's so disconnected. Whatever the collaborations are, very disconnected, and that's obviously made the film suffer quite badly. So
I also feel, and this is after Cameron Mitchell's bit, it's got, and I'm going to try drop a clip in now. the world's greatest foot chase sequence in cinema. So I'll drop that in. Jim, you may well have repressed that deep down after the exhaustion.
Yeah.
There's the rest of the film. But I do think it's such a weird oddity. I think it's very sellable. You know, Demon Cop is a great title, even though it is a werewolf parole officer. So
is it a werewolf? He looks like, remember the Gates and the Gate 2, more like the Gate 2, when they were in full form demon, like when they kind of like possessed into the demon. Kind of looks like that was taken from the Gate 2, and they just put on this Michael Jackson wig.
Well, I was going to go with, it looks like the animated rabbit from the Michael Jackson Black or White video, but they've taken off the ears.
Yeah.
No, okay, we'll have pictures of both of those, and we'll see who's closest. I'm going with me. But yeah, it felt very dangerous era Michael Jackson.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah. So there we go. I mean, I think that's all that needs to be said about Demon Cop. So Jim, what Blu-ray label do you think is best to put this bad boy out?
Hey, I've gone for Eureka because they have films like Troll 2, which is infamous for being a terrible film, but I kind of like it in a weird way. So I think they would be more than happy to accommodate Demon Cop. I think that might fit quite nicely in there. I think it's around the same time as well. Is it Troll 2? I think it's like 1990. I think so.
Yeah. Demon Cop 90, yeah.
Also, just thinking of another home for Demon Cop, perhaps Vinegar Syndrome. They have loads of different types of films, loads of different horrors, some soft porn. So they also seem quite fitting with Demon Cop. Not that Demon Cop has anything to do with soft porn, but if they're taking soft porn, they're taking anything. So yeah.
Cool. I went with 88 films. I thought because the 90s time period or whatever, and they're a bit more adventurous in putting out stuff on the lower budget of cinema. And I think they've also put out some Fredo and Ray stuff in the past as well. So 88 films would be the natural home for Demon Cop. So Jim, you've watched Demon Cop. You're not totally exhausted.
This is a hard one.
What are you going to follow it up with?
This was difficult. Quite lazy, actually. I've gone for Maniac Cop. If you just fancied seeing,
cops.
What I'm just thinking, like, if you watch Demon Cop, thinking I'm going to see a real fucking mental cop just ripping people to pieces, and in the name of justice, maybe check out Maniac Cop. Although this guy doesn't do it for justice. Yeah. Maniac Cop 2. I couldn't think of anything other than something cop, like fucking Wolf Cop. Go watch Wolf Cop as well. And anything, I think
something cop
would just
feel better. Let's get on to my recommendations, and then we'll see. So I went with Zombie Cop from J.R. Bookwalter. So the guy who did Dead Next Door later on then did Zombie Cop.
Brilliant.
I also went with Vampire Cop, which is Hong Kong cinema, also known as The Haunted Cop Shop. So again, zany, kind of like that. Magic Cop, which again is another kind of like Mr. Vampire-esque sequel.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So Magic Cop. And I also said Wolf Cop. So there we were. I can't, I can't say I also put a lot of thought into it. But again, I think, Supernatural meets Gun and a Badge. There is something edging. So I also think that you and I should perhaps develop something, maybe Mummy Cop. Wait. Bigfoot Cop.
Oh, there's something in there, mate.
All right, let's go away. Yeah. We'll write that down. Or King Kong Cop. King Kong Cop.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
Right, there we go. We need to find out who's got the rights. That might be difficult now. I mean, I think King Kong's worth a lot of money. All right, maybe we'll go back to Bigfoot Cop. Yeah,
we could do that. I'm sure there's some dodgy Sasquatch costume on Amazon we could get.
Or we could go like Godzilla-esque Kaiju Cop. Oh. Try him off the Kaiju Cop. Write these down, Jim. This is gold. Actually, I might even cut this out, because this might be, like.
Don't share with the people.
Yeah, copyright, trademark. Anyway, so guys, have you seen Demon Cop? What did you think? Did you need a little break every 20 or so minutes? Did you need a lie down? Did you struggle afterwards? What other film would you recommend if you dug Demon Cop? And Jim, what else can peeps do?
So remember to like and subscribe, guys. Get on YouTube. And yeah, follow us on Facebook as well. We got loads of stuff coming up, loads of stuff on the pages. So come check us out.
Check us out.
Au revoir.
Bye bye.